Hey everybody, thanks for watching Woodcrest Bonsai. Today I'm going to work on this Procumbens Dec juniper. I purchased this juniper along with about 10 or 12 or maybe even more as a landscape plant back in the fall of 2022. In the winter, in January of 2023, I root pruned it and I put it into this deep rectangular green pot, and I did some basic styling, just removing some branches that I knew I didn't want in the design. And then I've just really grown it on since. And so today I'm going to take the styling up to the next level. So my plan is to wire this branch so that all of this growth is all in position. This branch here I want as part of the design, but I don't think I'm actually going to use this branch. I'm going to use this branch. But I'm going to keep this branch temporarily because I want to take a cutting. I want to take some cuttings. Then we have another branch in the back here, which is pretty extensive, which I don't think I really need at all, which I'll probably shorten back to here. So this will be the back branch right here. This is the front. And then on the top, we have a big knob right here. And I'm thinking very seriously of removing the vast majority of all of that. I may turn it to gin and leave this one little piece. Oh man, come on. Just slammed my elbow right down onto the camera. Leave this one piece here. And then this will be the apex here. And it'll be shortened and the apex will come in here and fill in here. I root prune and I repot my junipers in the dead of winter because otherwise they're not going to survive. So if we look, but I'm going to start by wiring this branch here. So if we look at this branch straight on, it's got pretty nice ramification. Some of the limbs are fairly weak, and so that's going to be part of the wiring process to try to get them to gain more vigor. I've got some branches here, like there's one branch here. So if we look a little closer right here, can I zoom in? If we look right here, see there's two branches and they're almost parallel. This one only has one tuft of growth, and this one, which is quote-unquote weaker, has four different areas of growth. So I am going to keep the smaller one because I want that fullness. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that bigger branch and just turn it into gin. Just, you usually want to cut about halfway through. Oh, well, that was all the way through. And then take your gin pliers. And gin pliers are specifically designed so they only meet at the very tip. So what you do is you basically crush the cambium. And this works way easier on fresh growth. And there's a little bit of gin. And now it's maybe a little bit too long, but that's okay. And then the rest of it's just going to be wiring the rest of the branches. And we've got a pretty good structure of the branch coming all the way to here, and then it branches off here. So we've got a lot of potential to create a very nice pad or pads with this branch. So I'm going to get to wiring, and I need to turn the tree this way to do that. So let's bring it over here. I think I need a little bit bigger wire for the main branch. This is a pretty long piece, but I think we can use it. So I'm going to anchor it and then wrap it around the trunk. It's catching on my backdrop. I always like to have the branch facing me that I'm wiring. It's just so much easier to see what you're doing. And once I get this guy wired and into place, I'm thinking very seriously of just wiring the rest of it in silence and then just speeding the video up. It'll be the first time I've experimented with speeding up a video. I don't think it's all that hard on my video editing software, but this could take easily half an hour or more to just finish wiring this branch with all the little pieces that we've got. So if I can keep from kicking the tripod, and as usual, I've got a little bit too much wire, but I usually just sort of bend it back so it's not visually too weird. And now I'm going to wire all the rest of it. I'm not going to bend that branch until I've got it all wired. Of course, then I may have just lied. So, I'm going to try to give it some movement too. And this end part, I'm going to use a thinner wire. And I want it, I don't really necessarily want it to be a cascade branch per se, more like a semi-cascade. So if I was going to do a cascade, I would bring it way down here. So now it's just a matter of wiring all the rest of this. And some of these little tiny branches, like this stuff right here, will probably come off. But because this has gotten a little bit leggy, some of these little tiny branches that are in the crux of the branch, like that guy right there, and this little tiny one right here, they can actually be the future of the branching. So I think I'm going to start with that guy right there. I can't find the end of the wire. There it is. So about like that, and then cut it about 1.5 times, because you lose distance as you actually do the wiring. So typically you want to go about 2 runs back where the heavier wire is, and then bring it to wire the piece that you want. And that's usually sufficient to anchor it. And I'm no wiring expert. When it comes to wiring, I'm a huge proponent of function over form. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there used to be a tire commercial, and the guy used to say, "Tires ain't pretty." And I think I'm a proponent of wiring don't have to be pretty, just as long as it does the job. Now, there's some rules you want to follow with wiring. Is, for one thing, you don't want to cross wires over, because the bottom wire will be much more prone to cutting into the bark. So things like that. So if you start going to the right, then you want most of your wires to go to the right too, so they don't cross. And for some reason I've got it way out of the black backdrop. Of course, why would that be? Okay, so now let's go back around here and bring this guy into position with a little bit more movement. Okay. And everything else is all going to follow that line. So can I shut up and just wire the rest of it? Maybe I'll do this. Oh, here's a piece that's completely dead. So that's another potential piece of gin. And since it's dead, it's usually much harder to scrape the bark off. And they're both like right together, so I don't know if that's really going to be that big of a deal. Okay, I think it's all wired. We have it all wired up. Now, I'm going to put the front back in front of me and begin to put it into place. I think I got more wire than I do foliage. But I think that's looking pretty good, actually. And then I need to get, oh, I forgot this guy. Need to do a little bit more really thin wire to finish it off. And this is another one we're finding the end is a good trick. Anybody see the end? There it is. Okay. Well, that didn't do much. Well, I think you get the idea. This guy here needs to come up like that. And then we still have a couple more here. And there's a few more little incidental pieces that need some wire too. But I think, for the most part, I'm pretty happy with the result. I know this massive. Maybe I should just bring it like that. So there we go. We've got everything flowing in the same direction. A lot of the little stuff that did not get wire really also needs to be all moving in that same direction. Take these, give them a little piece of wire. So that's it for that guy. So now I'm going to do this one because it actually needs to come up. It's going down too far and is visually blocking the lower branch. So let's do him with some of this. And I do plan on root pruning this guy, probably putting it right back into the same pot. But I'm not going to do that until a little bit later in the year, or the beginning of next year, actually, probably. I took a picture of this tree that was the 4th of January, but I had an entirely different front, and the background was horrible, so I don't think I'm even going to show you that picture. Maybe I'll get some better video photo editing software. Of course, right now I have nothing, so anything's better than that. So bring him down and then up like that. And all this little stuff needs to be moving away. And since I'm going to remove most of this, I think I'm going to bring him up like that into here. I'm going to remove some of this. See, I want this line to be following this line. So let's take off a lot of this back branch. This also is very heavy here. Bring this up at, whoops. Gonna bring this up as the apex. So I need something back here. And I certainly may not finish this guy today, or in this video at least. And I do want to leave some things. I want to take a cutting from here. I want to take a cutting from here, which once again I'm probably going to shorten that all the way to here, just because we don't really need that way out here like this. We'll have enough of a pad right there. I also have some funkiness here. This is very straight, and then it would be very easy to create a nice curved apex. So I'm probably just going to hide that straightness with another little tuft of foliage. Just tuck it in there so you really just don't see it. So do I bring this guy down like that, or do I just get rid of it and let one of these guys in the back fill in? I think I'm going to wire it anyway. My philosophy on just about any tree, and especially junipers, is you can always take more off once you've decided you want to. Hardest part about wiring is finding the end. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so wrap it around a couple of times. Bring it up. Cut everything that's, you see, that belongs to this, so we can probably just take that off. And I basically took this and made it upside down, so now it's going to have to start growing back straight up. Alright, well, I think it's getting there. I think I want to bring this guy up into there. So there you go. I think that's it for this video. Even with fast forwarding the wiring, we're looking at probably at least 20 minutes or more. So I'll probably do part 2 tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Or maybe you can just give me a mercy thumbs up because of how long it took. Ay, 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 ay. Please subscribe and you can watch this guy continue on his way. And leave a comment if you'd like. I've got about 12 more of these to go. And I plan on doing this, or at least something similar to all of them. And then root pruning and repotting. Because it's been 2 years now, and I put them in a very organic mix, because most of the problems I've had with junipers in the past is I let them dry out. So because they're in that organic mix, it has a tendency to dry out and turn to mush. So see, just that little tiny detailed work with a little bit like that. I want everything to be moving like that. So that's for a future day. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.